There are so many of us who have spent hundreds of dollars in buying books every time we come across a bestseller or a self-help book or some extraordinary book. We feel that we should absolutely have that book because we are going to read it and it's going to change our lives. Or we may go for some training or some workshops or other means by which our friends say, hey, you absolutely should go listen to this speaker or that. So one day I was doing the same thing. I was looking through my Kindle library where I have more books than I can count on my fingers, toes, and the toes and fingers of my friends as well. And I thought, there's so much information that is right here at my fingertips. Many of these are extraordinary books, bestsellers that have stayed on some list or the other forever. And I thought, how much do I know about what's in these books? But more importantly, what is it that I am doing with what I know is in these books? So that led me to think more about knowing versus doing, and of course to do some more research into how this plays out in how it affects our life, our thinking, and the improvements that we really desire from the bottom of our hearts, but somehow we never seem to be able to put our arms around it and to actually be able to do the things that we really want to do. So what I discovered is that knowing is not doing. And this runs across the spectrum of our lives, whether it's with financial matters, whether it's with health, whether it's with parenting, whether it's with how we behave and respond in the workplace, whether it's about decision making, whatever it may be. If we were to step back and think about it, we really know quite a bit. Given that we live in an internet age, we know quite a bit about a whole host of things that can tremendously improve our lives and have an extraordinary impact on our happiness, on our peace, on our stress levels. But knowing is not doing. In fact, I think the more we know, the less we do. Why? Because our brain psychs us into thinking that because we know it, we have somehow done it or we have mastered it. So when we step back and when we look at our lives and when we look at the amount of knowledge that we have, the things that we know, and what we actually do with those things, it's actually quite scary because the extent to which we apply what we know is actually very, 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 very limited. It's minuscule of what we know is what we do. But doing is knowing. So when we start to do things, even very simple principles that we know are good for us, when we start to do, then what we know about that particular principle actually increases, it strengthens it. Our brain truly understands what we do. And so rather than spending more and more time and money on perhaps attending more workshops or more training sessions or buying more books, which is really my weakness, buying more books because it's on the bestseller list or gee whiz, let me read this or that. I think the key is to get started on what we know, to pick one strand, one simple thing that we know will improve our lives, and to start doing it. So the theme of this video is really doing is knowing. And if we can start even just today with doing one small thing,